Hi, and welcome to our first practice of moving into Kapha season. So, in the science of Ayurveda, which is a sister science of yoga and a very big part of Tantric yoga, which I am influenced in my classes, in case you didn't know that. Anyway, we're moving into Kapha season, and the elements of Kapha are earth and water. And all of us have all of the 5 elements: earth, water, air, ether, and fire within us in different proportions. And it changes throughout the day, throughout the year, and throughout our life. But as we move into Kapha season, some of the heaviness and the stagnation of winter can take us into Kapha season and feeling very heavy. And then we add this earth and water, which basically is mud, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that this week. It can leave us feeling very sluggish. It can leave us feeling very prone to colds and flus and illness, because our immune system is also a little sluggish. And Kapha is in our bodies, the seat of Kapha is in our chest. And it's related to that which binds. That's what Kapha means. And so we're looking at the mucosal tissues and the mucus in the body. So that's in our respiratory system, in our digestive system. And we can tend at this time of year to be in excess of Kapha, an excess of mucus, an excess of that heaviness of earth. So we're going to be working with a vayu, which is the winds of the body. Sometimes we've worked with apana vayu, which is the downward grounding visualization of our breath in the fall, because we need that grounding. But in the spring, we need a little more uplifting. So we're going to be working with udana vayu, which is visualizing the breath rising up to the pelvis, to the belly center, and our exhale rising up to the sky to give us that uplifting. We'll also be working with some pranayama, so Kapha, and also some Kapha like breathing in the transitions of some of our poses. In between that, you're going to really want to focus on your ujjayi breath and try to keep that consistency of the ujjayi, which helps us build prana in the chest. And we'll be working with some lifting our gaze, which also helps to lift the energy, and lifting through the breath with udana vayu, and building prana in the heart center, and relieving stagnation in our lungs, and creating space. And so that's kind of where we're going with this practice. For props, you're going to need, I would have a couple of blocks, because we're going to be doing some of that Kapha like breath in our lunges, and whatever you need for your shavasana, whether that's blankets or socks or whatever. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. I hope you enjoy this practice. And Beecher was here for the whole recording of the practice, but you can see he prefers shavasana. He must be the studio or the music that just puts dogs to sleep up here. Okay, hopefully you'll feel a little more invigorated than he is right now. So we're going to start in standing, so go ahead and get ready. All right, standing in Tadasana, mountain pose, grounding through your feet. Begin to work with udana vayu. So we inhale from the feet all the way up to the pelvis, and exhale all the way up through the crown, through our arms up to the sky. Inhale up to the belly. Exhale all the way up, out the crown, out the hands. Let's continue in that way, inhaling from the feet through the legs all the way up to the heart center. Exhale all the way up through the crown, through the hands. Inhale, pelvis, belly, heart. Exhale, continue with that upward exhale energy. And then coming back into Tadasana, bring your hands together just below the belly button. So index fingers touch, thumbs touch, elbows out to the side. And begin to connect with your belly breath here. as we prepare to move into Kapha breath. So that area just below the belly button, 5 fingers below the belly button, starts with that forced exhale, and allow the inhale to pour in on its own. Taking a nice deep inhale, and then begin at your own pace. You can go slow, or you can go fast. Stay at the pace that works for you as we exhale all the stagnancy, all the heaviness, all the old air out. Keep going for a little longer if you're able. And beginning to create a little bit of heat in the body as well. And then release that. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Thumbs can be up. Inhale up again. This time we're going to retain the top of the inhale if you are able, either bringing your hands down or bringing them parallel to the floor with thumbs up. Keep the collarbones broad and lifted. And again, holding the top of this inhale as long as is comfortable, and then go ahead, release out the nose, exhale. Inhale up, and exhale, release down. Inhale up, and exhale, release down. Now you can bring your feet to hip width apart, and we're just going to start to rotate from side to side and let your arms be loose, so that as you rotate from side to side, your floppy arms just begin to slap you, which sounds weird, but it's stimulating for the stagnancy in the body, and it's stimulating for the shoulders, for the lungs. And you can reach all the way to the back and slap yourself on the back, pat yourself on the back, to your thighs, to your belly, your back. It's just bringing a little bit of almost like tapping to your body. And begin to slow down, and then start rubbing, stimulating the skin of the body, rubbing yourself all over in fast, brisk manner. The hips, the thighs, the back, the side body, the arms, the calves, and just stimulating, waking up all the parts of the body. Using friction and creating heat. Do your back, do your front, do your arms, your shoulders, even on your face. And then just pause. Close your eyes. Feel that stimulation everywhere on your body. And now bring your feet wide, pointing the toes out 45-degree angle for goddess pose or fiery angel, bending the knees. And then inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows. Take an inhale, broaden the chest. Exhale, drop the chin, forearms come together. Continue like this, inhaling wide. Exhale, draw in. To show you a side view, it's almost like we're doing cat-cow. Exhale, we curl the spine in, drop the chin. Inhale, we open the front body and keep moving a couple more breaths like this. Inhaling wide and lifting. Exhaling, drawing in. Keep moving with your pace of breath. A few more rounds. Creating some mobility in the spine and the shoulders. And then go ahead and release as you complete your last breath. And just pause, coming to your belly breath here. Just noticing sensations, noticing energy moving, noticing your breath, your shoulders, your heart center. And then step your feet together, hip width apart, spread your arms wide, and as you exhale, fold them over each other and wrap your arms around like you're giving yourself a hug, and alternate which arm comes on top and which arm comes underneath with each breath. And you can add, as you inhale, arms wide, you can look up to the sky. Or you can keep looking straight ahead to the level of the horizon. And now we're bringing right arm under left and wrapping around for a variation of eagle arms. So either grabbing shoulders, shoulder blades, pressing the back of the hands together, or wrapping around for full eagle. Take the variation that works. And then we're just going to bring some creative movement, fluid movement. You can lift the arms up. You can even fold forward and move from side to side. Just bringing that watery element of motion into this gesture, this posture, this mudra. You can make big circles and then go ahead and release. Bring your arms wide. Let's wrap around a couple more times, giving yourself a hug before we move into second side. So as we move into our second side, we're bringing left arm under right this time. And again, all the different variations depending what's going on at your shoulders. And then just begin to bring some movement into it. Find those sticky spots that you might be feeling in your upper back, in your shoulders, the front shoulders. Move however feels right for you. Slithering this way and that way. You can bring your feet wider and make bigger half circles from side to side, up, down, whatever feels right. There's no wrong. And then release your hands down. Shake it out a little bit. Taking a moment just to notice. Notice how the shoulders feel and the chest and the upper back. And then if you're able, we're going to just swing the arms from front to back and then intertwine your fingers if that works for you. If that doesn't, you can also pick up a block and hold a block lengthwise between your hands. We're trying to open the shoulders and create active muscular action of drawing the shoulders back as we draw the front ribs in and lift the collarbones. And with the collarbones lifted, then you can drop your chin. Keep the collarbones lifting with each inhale and drawing the hands back and down behind you. So we're moving in opposite directions. Then you can play with movement of the chin, looking up to the sky. As you inhale, keep the collarbones lifted and drop your chin. And just play with that action a little bit more and feel how that changes the sensations as you drop your chin. And keep reaching the arms back and away from you. And then go ahead and release. You can set your block down if you were using a block. And come to the top of your mat. And let's move into some half sun salutations. Inhale, reach to the sky. Look up to the sky. As you exhale, release your hands to your sacrum, thumbs to your sacrum, fingertips pointing forward. The inhale, we move into a slight back bend. As you exhale, fold forward, slide your hands down your thighs. Inhale, extend the heart forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, belly draws in and rise all the way back up. Releasing your hands to reach to the sky as you look to the sky. And let's go ahead and exhale, hands back to the sacrum. Inhale to invite a back bend. Exhale, slide down as you fold, belly draws in. Inhale, hands to the floor or to your shins as you extend the heart forward. Exhale, belly draws in, fold. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Look up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the sacrum once again. Inhale, lift the heart, invite the back bend. Exhale, fold forward, slide it down. Inhale, draw the heart forward halfway, step the right foot back on the exhale. Coming into a lunge. You can have blocks under your hands here if you wish, and you can just rock back and forth a little bit to start. And then we'll start with almost like a Kapha breath, inhaling forward to your lunge, exhale into reverse lunge. So we're going faster than we normally do, really focusing on the exhale as we move into reverse lunge. Like I say, it's almost like the Kapha forced exhale. clearing out the lungs and moving energy. And then you can go ahead and drop the back knee, hands to the front knee, or reach to the sky. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step the left foot forward. So we'll go through the same sequence of breathing here. So starting in your lunge, hands on blocks or on the floor. And then you can exhale, reverse lunge, inhale forward, and moving again, Kapha style of exhale with focus on your exhale. And exhale, forcing the breath out, clearing out the stagnancy, the heaviness, and invigorating the heart center with our breath, with prana, as we're releasing. And then go ahead and settle into your lunge, dropping the back knee. And then option to bring hands to the front knee, or inhale, reach up and look to the sky. Exhale, hands come down. And this time as we lift the back knee, we'll step back into downward facing dog. So take a moment in your first downward facing dog to work it out a little bit. Turn your toes to one side, get lots of stretch into the side body. And then turn your hips the other direction. Turn your feet the other direction and sway your hips away from your toes. Come back to center. And then bend your knees deep, draw your belly to your thighs. And then press forward to plank. Almost like an accordion. Pressing forward to plank. Bend the knees and draw back down dog. Forward to plank. Back. Same idea of breath. We're using the exhale to force the breath out each time we go forward and back. You can also do this between child's pose and half plank, as I'm demonstrating here, using the exhale to force the breath out. You choose which variation is better for you. And then let's drop the knees, everybody, and come down into child's pose. Release that. Let that go. Inhale, rise up, cow. Draw the heart forward. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cow pose. Draw the heart forward. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, up, cow. Turn your toes under. Downward facing dog this time on your exhale. Inhale forward to plank. And you can lower down knees, chin, chest. You can also do chaturanga if you're ready for that. Lengthen the feet. Little toe side of the feet down. Roll your shoulders back. Pubic bone into your mat. And then inhale, rise up, cobra. Baby cobra. Exhale, forehead comes down. Bring your arms wide onto your fingertips, elbows up, and inhale, rise up into cobra. Maybe you're able to lift a little higher, and exhale, come on down. Now release the hands either to your sacrum or intertwine your fingers above your bum. And then roll the shoulders back, lengthen the hands back, lengthen the toes so much that your legs lift up off the mat. Reach through the crown. Let breath pour in on your inhale. Pubic bone presses down. Shoulders drawing back, staying for a couple more breaths. Each inhale just allowing the breath to pour in. Release down on an exhale. You can rock your hips from side to side, even windshield washer your shins from side to side here. Releasing any tension in the back. And then release the legs down and begin to rock with the support of your hands from side to side on your upper body. And then bring your left elbow up to the sky on your fingertips, so elbows bent, and then bend the left knee. Slide the knee along the floor so that it is at the same height as your hip, Or you can roll all the way open by bringing the left foot behind your right. So the right arm is extended straight, and this is opening the front body. Sorry, the bottom of my screen is cut off here. Come back to center, and then extend the left arm, bend the right knee, come to the right fingertips. And so now we're opening through that left front shoulder. So you can keep your knee bent on the floor, or you can step it back behind you for more intensity. And don't force it. Take the version that works best for your body. Nice breath here. Staying connected with Ujjayi breath. And then roll back to center. Onto your fingertips, elbows bent out to the side. Rise up in your cobra again. You might find you rise higher this time. Exhale, release down, and then press back. Child's pose on an exhale. Take a moment here in your child's pose. And then let's inhale, tabletop. Do a few rounds of cat-cow. And again, we're using that exhale breath a little bit faster and more forceful, almost like Kapha breath on the exhale of our cat-cow. You can go slow or you can go fast. And then when you're ready, release back into child's pose once again, maybe rocking your hips from side to side. And then walk your hands in your child's pose over to the left, coming to your fingertips. So elbows and forearms are lifted. And then let's walk it over to the other side. Again, up on your fingertips, as though you have a cupcake under the palm of your hand. And then back to center. Let's rise up and find our way into downward facing dog. I'm not going to stay in dog too long, but bend the knees as you exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Bring your hands to your sacrum in your forward fold. Belly draws in. You can leave your hands at your sacrum or intertwine your fingers and lift them away from your bum. Release the head towards your shins. And breathe here. This forward fold brings a lot of energy into the heart center. Now release your hands to your sacrum. Inhale, reach up, rise up, look up. Exhale through your heart center. Take a couple breaths here in your mountain pose. Just feeling into the sensations of the body and that uplifting quality that's beginning to happen. And begin to use your Udana Vayu of inhaling up through the feet to the pelvis and exhaling out the top of your head. Bring your feet hip width apart. Inhale, reach up this time. Exhale, sit down in your chair pose. Draw your hands through your heart center. Sink a little deeper, and we're moving into our twist. So forearm to the knee, other hand to the hip, or hands to heart center. And you can try this variation of bringing your top hand into a fist to press into the bottom hand at heart center. This helps facilitate the twist in a little bit different way. Exhale, release to center. And then same variations to twist to the other side, either catching your knee with your elbow and bringing the fist into the bottom palm, or you can have right forearm on your knees. Release down to center. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into Malasana, bending the knees. You might be on your toes here with heels lifted if you're tight in your ankles, but hands come to heart center. Press knees into elbows, elbows into knees. You can play with crow pose balance here if you wish. And even if you don't get your feet lifted up off the floor and do one foot at a time, it's still a lot of energy coming into the heart center to the upper body. Let's step the right foot back from here into a lunge. Drop the back knee and inhale, reach to the sky. Grab your right wrist and side bend over to the left. Bringing a little more opening into that right side body here as we side bend to the left. Come back to center. Release the hands down. And then stepping forward into our forward fold from here. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring the feet wide. Exhale, bend the knees, sit bones towards the floor. Malasana. Squat pose. Elbows come into the knees. And again, your might be heels lifted and on your toes, or your heels may be down. And again, option to play with crow pose by bending the elbows, bringing the knees to the elbows, squeezing in. And again, it doesn't matter if you come into the balance. We're working with bringing that energy in. Step the left foot back for lunge, knee comes down. Inhale, reach to the sky. Grabbing the left wrist this time, we side bend over to the right. Bringing opening into that left side body as we side bend to the right. Come back to center, release the hands down. And this time we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Take a moment here. And every time we go through this, you have option to stay in down dog, come down to child's pose, or into puppy pose by creating hips over knees and extending the arms long, coming to your fingertips. Or you have the option to flow through vinyasa, knees, chin, chest, rising up into cobra, or up dog, your choice. And then exhaling back into downward facing dog, always taking the variation that works best for your body. Bend the knees, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat, feet wide, coming into squat pose, malasana once again. Pressing elbows into knees, knees into elbows. Option for crow pose if you want to play with that. Or lift the hips high, coming into your forward fold. And then start to bring a little more weight into your hands. Maybe lifting up on your toes. And again, this forward fold with energy into the hands brings energy to the heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise up. Draw to your heart center. Take a breath or two here in your mountain pose. Hands to your hips. Take an inhale, exhale, chair pose. And then we're going to step the right foot back, coming onto your toes on your back foot for a crescent moon. Bend the back knee, lift the frontal hip bones. Draw the ribs in and reach to the sky. You can intertwine your fingers here as you reach up to the sky and bring your gaze up slightly. Not cranking your neck back, but lifting the gaze, bringing that uplifting quality. As you exhale, release your hands, thumbs to your sacrum, and invite a little more back bend here. Continue to look up. You can inhale up through your feet and exhale up through the crown of the head to the sky. Udana Vayu. Hands come to heart center. Extend the body forward and come into a high lunge twist. Same options with your hands. Hands at heart center. Bring a fist into the bottom hand or open your arms wide for expansiveness, pressing elbow into the knee, knee into the elbow. You can even bring that top arm to the small of your back. Release and step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. Options to flow, coming forward to plank, lower down, knees, chin, chest, or chaturanga. Draw the heart forward, cobra pose, or upward facing dog. Opening the front body, lifting the gaze, exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, rising high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. To bottom of your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. The inhale lifts the heart. Exhale, we bend the knees again. Malasana. Option for crow pose. Option to stay here with elbows pressing into the knees. Lifting the heart, bringing the hands down. Let's all come into a little bit of a twist. So left hand down, right hand reach to the sky, or right hand to your hip. Come back to center. Left hand to your hip as you twist left, or you can reach it to the sky. Come back to center. Lift the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, lift up, rise up, look up. Hands through heart center. Release. Let's get ready for second side. Hands to your hips. Take a nice inhale. Maybe reach to the sky this time as we sink into chair pose. Hands can come to your heart center or continue to reach up to the sky. And then we're stepping left foot back into crescent moon. You can reach up to the sky. You can even keep your hands on your front knee here. You can bend that back knee a little bit so the frontal hip bones can lift and the tailbone can drop. Keep the front ribs contained even as you reach up, with the fingertips lifting your gaze slightly. Nice breath here using your ujjayi, and you can inhale up from your feet into the pelvis, into the belly, into the heart. Exhale all the way up your arms, up the crown of your head. Draw the hands through your heart center, and we're twisting to the right this time. An option to bring right hand to the hip, left arm to the shin, or stack the hands at heart center. You can stack a fist into the palm, open your arms wide with your arm on the outside of the knee, really expanding through the heart center. And then go ahead, exhale, release down. Downward facing dog. Again, take your option, staying in dog, coming to child's pose, coming into puppy dog with arms extended, hips over knees, or take a flow. Take a vinyasa, flush that out. And you know, child's pose is always an option. If you do take child's pose, possibly come to your fingertips with forearms lifted to bring a little more uprising energy into the heart center. Let's all find our way back into downward facing dog. If you're not there, bend the knees deeply on an exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Malasana, squat pose. Take crow pose if you wish. Experiment by lifting the feet. Even if you don't come into it, there's a lot of energy coming into the heart center. Or lift the hips high, come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up, look up. Exhale, heart center. Release your hands. Take a breath in mountain pose, inhaling up from the earth. Exhaling, sit down, chair pose. Step back with the right foot. So we're moving into warrior 2 here. So finding your stance, and then release your hands down in front of you. Inhale back into the warrior 2 position. We're going to move in and out of some arm movements here. So taking an inhale, exhale, release your hands behind you. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Moving with breath this way, exhale, arms down. Inhale, reach up, look up. So we're working with that uprising energy. Inhaling, reach up, draw the energy up from the earth, and then keep your hands there. And even as you exhale, imagine the breath traveling up through your hands, through your crown. Release your hands down, intertwine your fingers behind your back for humble warrior. So as we fold forward, you can rest that left shoulder on the knee or the thigh, or come inside the knee or the thigh and go a little deeper. Releasing the head as we lift the arms. So again, all this energy is coming into the heart center as we fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Arms straight out to the side. Release your hands down. Turn both feet parallel, facing the long side of your mat. And just take a moment's pause Let's inhale up through the feet from the earth into the heart center. Exhale out the crown of your head. Inhale through the feet up to the heart center. Exhale the crown of your head. Let's turn those left toes to the top of your mat once again. Extend the arms wide, bend the front knee, warrior two, peaceful warrior on your inhale. Expanding through the side body, creating space for expansive breath. And then exhale into side angle. Elbow can come to the knee as we extend the arm overhead. And pull the back of the skull back so that you're not leaning forward. You can also bring the bottom arm down to a block or to the floor, but keep drawing the head back. Don't fold the heart forward. And then reach that arm up to the sky, come all the way up, turn your feet parallel once again. Come back to our Udana breath as we inhale from the earth up through the legs, into the belly, into the heart. Exhale up through the crown of the head. Feel that uplifting energy. And let's turn those left toes to the top of the mat and step back into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here in your down dog, or flow forward through your vinyasa, inhaling up into your cobra or up dog, and using the exhale to draw back into downward facing dog. Bend the knees deeply on the exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow. Bend the knees deep, malasana, squat pose. You might find this a little easier every time we do it. Lift the hips high, our forward fold. And then again, let's bring a little bit of energy into the upper body, pressing more weight into the hands, maybe lifting your heels up, even if your knees are bent here. And then release down. You can also bring your hands to blocks if that's helpful, and bring more weight forward into the hands, which brings more energy into the heart center as the upper body begins to work. Let's inhale the heart up. Exhale, forward fold, and inhale, reach to the sky, look up and draw to your heart center. Release into mountain pose. Take a breath or two here. Let's inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, sit down, chair pose. And we're stepping left foot back into warrior two position. Arms extended, front knee bent. Release your arms down and then inhale them back up. Arms out behind you as you exhale. Inhale, reach to the sky this time. So same thing we did on the first side. Exhale, arms down behind you. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, the arms down behind you. Inhale, reach it up. This time we keep the arms up. Inhale, up through the feet, through the legs, into the heart center. Exhale all the way up through your crown, through the arms. Continue with your breath like that with Udana Vayu. And then release the arms down. Intertwine behind your back for humble warrior. Orienting your body towards the front of your mat as you fold again. Shoulder might come to the top of the thigh, the knee, or in the inside as you release the head towards the earth. So gravity is drawing energy up into the heart center. And we're opening the heart center with our mudra, with our hands lifted here. One more breath, and the inhale brings us all the way up. Turn both toes to the long side of your mat and pause here for a breath or two. Heart open, gaze lifted. Breathing up through the feet, into the belly, into the heart center, and exhaling out the crown. Let's turn the toes back to the top of your mat. Coming into warrior, and then using the inhale to find peaceful warrior. Hand can be on the thigh or the small of your back. We exhale into our side angle. So forearm to the knee. We rotate the left side ribs up to the sky. Extend the left arm up and overhead. Draw the head back. Draw the upper back out behind you. Keep pressing down into both feet, really extending, creating space in the side body. Great for Kapha. Inhale, rise all the way up. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat. Pause here, and then let's intertwine the hands behind you. Lift the heart, lift your gaze slightly, and fold forward, top of the head towards the floor. Tiny micro bend in your knees here as well. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And lift the hands away from the sacrum, whatever is available to you. And if this isn't appropriate for your shoulders, your hands can be at your sacrum. Leading with the heart, inhale all the way up. Release your hands down to the mat as you turn to the top of your mat and step back, downward facing dog. Stay in down dog, take child's pose, take puppy dog, or take a flow. Whatever feels appropriate for your body today. We want to invigorate, not deplete. So if you're in puppy dog, come onto your fingertips. And if you're in child's pose, come onto your fingertips. And if you're flowing, choose your back bend. And then let's all meet in downward facing dog. Bending the knees deeply, belly to the thighs on the exhale. Step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, belly draws in as we fold. The inhale lifts us high, up to the sky. Take a moment in mountain pose. So from mountain pose, grab your blocks or your props, whatever you're using for blocks, and place them on either side of the top of your mat. We're moving into triangle and half moon pose. So take a moment's breath in mountain pose. You can also do this up against the wall if you'd like some support for your half moon pose. Otherwise, to the top of your mat. So let's inhale, reach to the sky, and exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Rising up as though you were coming into warrior two, and straighten the front leg. You can release the back hand, or both hands to your hips actually, and we're pivoting the hips so that we create length on that left side body. And then release your hand either to your shin or to a block, and extend the right hand up to the sky. So we're creating spaciousness through the heart center. And again, as we did before, lean your head back. Lean the upper back behind you. And really press into that back foot as well. Option to inhale the top arm overhead in your triangle to bring a little more invigoration and energy into the upper body, if it's appropriate for you. And then let's go ahead and press into both feet to come all the way up. Turn both feet parallel, facing the long side of your mat for just a breath or two. And then turn those left toes back to the top of your mat. We're moving into half moon pose. So spreading the arms wide, you can release the back arm to your hip, bend the front knee, and reach to your block and slide into your half moon pose. So back leg floats up. Arm can extend up to the sky. You might keep it on your hip. You might even keep it on your opposite block. Some of you might go ahead and reach that top arm overhead as we did in triangle. Some of you are going to have that hand on your block working with your balance. You might be up against the wall. And then some of you might want a little more challenge. And you might bend that top knee and bend your bottom, your standing leg as well. Grab your foot and open into a back bend. So a bound half moon pose. Go ahead and release if you're bound. Bend the standing leg and step back into downward facing dog. So half moon pose is an awesome pose for Kapha. It's very uplifting, just as the moon is suspended in the sky. Exhale, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. And let's inhale and rise all the way up as we prepare to do our second side. So adjust your blocks as you need to. And we'll go through that same sequence of triangle and then half moon pose for our second side. So starting in mountain pose, let's inhale and reach up to the sky. And as we exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, lift the heart, halfway lift, draw the heart forward, and exhale, step left foot back. Setting up as though we're doing warrior two, rising up, and then straighten the front leg. Both hands can come to the hip as you pivot and create length in the right side body here, pivoting that hip back. Reach that right arm to create length, and then release the hand either to a block, to your shin, and your block can be on any height that's appropriate for you. And then rotate the left side ribs up to the sky. Draw the back of the skull back. Draw the back of the ears back. Draw the upper back back. And taking the option, if it's appropriate for you, to reach the top arm overhead. You might look up to the sky here, which gives us even more uplift. You can inhale up through your feet into the pelvis. Exhale out the top of your head. Use your next inhale to rise all the way up. Pivot your feet so that they're parallel to each other to the long side of your mat, and pause here, feeling that uplifting energy from your triangle pose as we work with our side body. And then we're going to get ready to move into your half moon pose on our last side. So it's a good idea to have your block slightly ahead of the little toe side of your foot for half moon as you shift forward. And again, your hand can be on any height of your block. You can keep the top arm on your hip if you wish. You can extend it up to the sky. And you can also extend it overhead. And whatever your bottom hand is on, if you can be on your fingertips, it gives that a little more uplifting energy. So you can take the option to bind if you're feeling stable, bending the top leg, reaching the hand behind you, and opening into a back bend in our half moon pose. Go ahead and release the bind if you're in it. And bring both hands down, bend the standing leg, release down into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths in down dog. Maybe you want one last flow to flush everything out, or maybe you want to come into child's pose. Take a few breaths wherever you're at. We've got one more heart opening, chest clearing pose. So come up to your knees, come up to downward facing dog. If you're not already there, walk your feet to the middle of your mat and let your feet be wide as your mat. Bend your knees, send your hips back behind you, and then reach your arms between your legs and wrap them around. So see if you can touch your heels, the outside of your foot, or even bring your hands around to the top of your foot. Let your hips sink, and we move into lion's breath. So we exhale, stick out the tongue, exhale out your mouth, draw your heart forward, draw your hips back and down. So we're moving in opposite directions. And then go ahead and release the hips up into your forward fold. Exhale, let the head release. And then find your way back into downward facing dog. Drop down to your knees, come into child's pose. If you want one last flow before we wind it down, go ahead and do that and then meet us in child's pose. And then when we're all ready, let's meet in a seated pose. So coming to your seat on your mat. And we're coming into a twist, a heart opening twist. So I've got my knees bent. The right knee is on the bottom and my feet are out to the side on the left. So just a couple kind of gentle twists from side to side to release any tension before we move into our version of twist. And the top shin is resting in the arch of the bottom foot. So the left shin is resting in the arch of the right foot, which is the knee, which is underneath. So both hands to your knees. We're going to twist to our right. So left hand is going to come to that front knee. Right hand is out behind you. You also have the option to turn the eye of the elbow out with fingertips underneath that front knee, pointing to center. So we're twisting to the right here, looking to the right, using the belly to help us twist. Heart is very open here, and then slowly turn your head to look over the front shoulder. And as we look over the front shoulder, begin to lean the head back, opening the throat, the heart center, the collarbones. So this is a twist with a back bend. And then slowly release. Bring both hands to both knees in front of you. And just pause here for a second, letting that all unwind. It can be intense if you're very tight in your heart center or through your neck. So just pause here. Sometimes I like to twist to that right side and come forward like a push-up. You don't have to do that. Let's release the feet in front of us and bring your feet wide on your mat and just windshield washer your knees from side to side before we move into second side of our supine twist, of our seated twist, I mean. So now the knees move over to the left and the feet move over to the right. And again, we can just kind of gently rock from side to side, not forcing anything, just some gentle spinal mobility here. And again, that right shin is resting in the arch of the left foot. So right hand comes to your opposite knee, or tuck the fingers pointing to center underneath that thigh or that knee. Left hand is behind you. We're twisting left, looking left to start, using the belly for the twist, and then keep the body where it is and simply turn your head to look over your front shoulder, and then release the head back slightly so that there's a little more opening through the throat, through the neck, through the heart center. Collarbones are wide. And then slowly release, both hands come to your front knees. Pause here for a breath or two, letting that just unwind. Bring the feet in front of you once again. Feet can be wide as your mat, and let's do that same windshield washering to release any tension that you may have created there, just going from side to side. And then coming to your seat, extending your legs straight out in front of you in Dandasana or staff pose. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Turn your palms up to the sky as you intertwine your fingers and reach up. And then exhale, folding forward. So some of you might reach to your shins Some of you might reach to your ankles, some of you might reach to your feet. It doesn't matter where you reach. We're just kind of unwinding. And then inhale, bring it back up. Arms are reaching up. And exhale, release the hands down. Coming onto your back with knees bent now. Take a moment with feet grounded, knees bent, arms by your side, just to feel all the feels. Feel all the sensations and take time to notice. Nice, easy breath here. And then draw your knees into the chest, wrap your arms around, rock from side to side as you give yourself a hug, massaging the low back. And extend left leg straight down on the mat as you hold onto the right, coming into Apanasana. You can rock that knee from side to side or circle it around if you wish, or just come into stillness. And then let's switch, draw both knees in, extend right leg straight down. And same thing on this side. If it feels good, you can rock that knee from side to side or make circles, or you can just come into stillness and pause with the stillness. And now drawing both knees in. And then release the soles of both feet down to the mat. So now we're preparing for bridge pose. So ankles right under the knees. And there's variations for bridge pose. You can just bend your elbows with your fingertips pointing to the sky, pressing elbows into the floor. Or you can walk your shoulders, the outer arms underneath as you lift the hips up on an inhale, intertwining the fingers. And then there's variations you can play with your feet. You can rise up on your toes, which allows you to lift the heart center up a little bit higher. Try to keep that lift as you sink the heels down. And then try lifting your toes and pressing into the heels to lift a little higher. And then release your toes down. Try to retain that lift that you achieved there. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Take a few breaths here, pausing. We're going to do a second round. So for our second round, you can do a couple of different variations. You can do a supported bridge. So grab your block if you'd like to do supported bridge. Or you can also, if it's accessible to you, you can grab your ankles. I find this makes a little more intense lift to bridge pose, and walk your shoulders underneath. And then your other option is as you lift into your bridge pose, slide the block and whichever height is appropriate for you. You've got 3 choices on your block under the bony part of the back of your pelvis, your sacrum. So not in the fleshy part where your kidneys are, but on the bony part of the very bottom of the spine. And then whichever variation you've chosen, we're going to come into a bit of a supported shavasana, I guess you could call it. So with the block, if you don't already have a block under your hips, slide a block under your hips as you release down out of your bridge pose. And then soles of the feet reach to the sky. So this is again bringing energy, lymphatic fluid up to the heart center to help with our immunity. And again, still bringing that energy through the process of gravity into the upper body. And then you can slowly bend the knees one at a time, release the soles of the feet to the mat, and slide the block out from underneath you. Pause here. Again, just releasing the hips down into the mat. And if you wish, you can draw your knees into your chest now, rock from side to side. And we're going to move into a spinal twist. So allow the knees to drop to one direction. let your gaze go the opposite direction and let your arms be wide. And let the spine unwind here. Nice slow breath. As you come back to center on an inhale, wrap your arms around, rock from side to side again. And when you're ready, release to the opposite side. Arms become wide. Let your gaze, your head turn opposite of your knees. Notice how expansive the heart center is and how much more freely your breath flows. Come back to center as you inhale. Wrap your arms around one more time. Rock from side to side. Release the soles of the feet down, knees bent. Take a moment to ground. And then we're moving into our final Shavasana. If you need socks, sweater, blanket, if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do so. And then let your legs be wide. Let your arms be wide and away from you. Rock your head from side to side and find a comfortable center. Lift your chest up a little bit and slide your shoulder blades under your back. And then tighten up all the muscles in your body, your face, your fist, your feet, your belly, your legs. And as you exhale, release, let everything go. Let your body rest now in stillness. Allow all the prana that you created, all the energy that you move throughout the body, all the release of stagnancy. Allow your body to just rest now in stillness. Allow the mind, the brain to get heavy in your skull. Allow your arms to become heavy. Allow your breath to soften. Allow your heels to be claimed by gravity. Resting in stillness. Slowly begin to deepen your breath as you bring awareness back to the body and movement into fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. And when you're ready, roll to your right, coming into fetal position. Let's stay here for a breath or two, settling, eyes closed, retaining that sense of relaxation. And when you're ready, slowly press yourself up to a seat. Eyes closed or softly focus as you make your way onto your meditation cushion, a block, a blanket, or up against the wall. Take whatever seat is comfortable for you. Maybe it's even in a chair. Take a moment as you settle into this new position with eyes closed. We're going to do a little bit of alternate nostril breath to prepare for our meditation even further. So taking a breath and an exhale to settle into this new spot, this new position, this new way of being. And then bring on your left hand, bring index and thumb together with palm facing up, resting on your knee. And then moving into alternate nostril breath with your right hand. Bring thumb to the right nostril and inhale through the left. Pause at the top of the breath. And then switch and exhale out the right. Inhale right, pause at the top, and switch to exhale left. Continue alternating in this manner, inhaling left nostril all the way to the third eye, pausing and then exhaling out the right. Inhaling right up to the center of the brain, pausing and exhaling left. Keep going with your own pace of breath, with your alternate nostril breath. As you complete this last round of breath, release your hand down, bringing thumb and index finger to touch, palms facing up. So as you take your new position for your meditation, feel a sense of dropping into your seat. And just exhale softly a few times and feel an internal settling. Create space in your belly with your breath, with each inhale. And allowing the edges of the diaphragm to be supple. Lift the back of your skull upward towards the expansive sky above. And with your thumbs and index finger touching with your palms facing up, feel a sense of Shavasana in the palms of your hands. That sense of Shavasana in your face, in your skin, and allowing the brain to rest. And then bring your awareness to your heart center. And begin to imagine, sense, or feel that you have a small flame in a windless place in the space of your heart center. Lift the flame of your heart with the breath and a slow, steady breeze. Set the tip of your tongue onto the roof of your mouth, that space where your palate meets your teeth, as though the tip of your tongue is the tip of your flame. Often the busyness of our day-to-day life causes the flame of our heart to waver, to be tossed to and fro. And when the flame is erratic, sometimes it even smokes or can even go out altogether. When this happens, we get caught in places of darkness, become melancholy, feel despair, and often turn outward for fulfillment. Yogis bring their breath under the flame, like lighting a pilot light. See if you can allow the tip of your heart flame to burn steady. As you keep your awareness on the flame of the heart, the tip of the flame becomes pure space, where the flame itself moves up into the atmosphere, and where chemical combustion of the flame becomes the realm of ether or pure space. Let your mind abide like a great, vast, open sky. Notice how your exhale draws downward and how the inhale promotes the lift of the heart flame. As thoughts come, they can cause the flame to flicker, to dart to and fro. Just allow your thoughts to drop off, allowing the mind to empty of thoughts, and bring your awareness back to this flame in the heart. And now allow your open Shavasana palms of your hands to be a conduit for the openness of the skies. And feel the mist of prana collect into your palms. And come back to the luminous, radiant flame in your heart. And visualize this radiance shining into your whole chest, the back of your chest, both sides of your chest. And work with your soft attention to your breath to keep the flame steady. This flame is never static. Feel the dynamic aliveness, the dynamic prana enlivening the flame of your heart. As the mind wanders, shepherd it back to this metaphorical heart, the mind flame, the prana flame, the heart flame. With With eyes closed, softly bring your palms together at your heart center. And with awareness at your heart, let's close with one Om and feel that vibration in your heart center. Taking a deep inhale, exhale out your mouth, and then inhale to Om. With your eyes cast towards the floor, let your eyes flutter open. And may the flame of your heart burn bright. Namaste.